Well, here we are for the final Rebels training session before everybody heads off to Dubbo. I'm with the coach. How are you tonight, mate?
Yeah, good. Everything's good, mate. Everything's looking okay, yeah.
Yeah. Happy with everything for Dubbo?
Yeah, long way to go, but that's what we've got to do. So.
A few tricks up your sleeve for Canberra?
Oh, not tricks, mate. We're just ready for Canberra and hopefully turn the tables a little bit more what happened last year.
All right, all the best with that one.
Thank you.
Let's get into the local league on the weekend. We've got Curry versus Cessnock. How do you see that one going?
Yeah, well, both sides coming off a big win against quality opposition, so yeah, hopefully you go in as mate in a tight one.
Next game is Maitland versus Central. Of course, Maitland had their first win last week, which is great.
Yeah, very good. Good for the comp, mate. I believe it's the last game at Maitland Sports Ground. I don't know. Is that
it
right?
Is.
Well,
it's a sad time.
Central's going to have to really be on their game. Their form's not showing it, but, mate, they're going to have to be on their game because I know that Maitland will be up for it.
Another cracker will be Macquarie versus Souths.
Yeah. Very tough one, mate. Souths, they'll be stinging after a loss last week, so I think Toddy will have them up, and, mate, it'll be a tough one. Yeah, can't split them two.
What about the match of the round, West versus Lakes? How's that going to shape up?
Yeah, well, again, I was at that game last week and watched Western Cessnock, and I know Stodge, I don't think he'd be massively happy with the result, and so he'll be looking to bounce back. And again, a lot will hinge on what happens on Saturday with our guys. So I think there's 12 of them or 13 of them backing up. So
all the best in Dubbo.
Thank you very much, mate.
And we'll see you out there.
Let's hope that it'd be lovely to have one more win. It'd be lovely.
With Mr. Jade Porter, you're back this week, mate. How was the injury? How is it coming along?
Yeah, mate. Back this week. Been out for 2 weeks. Injuries come along well. Thought I might have been right for last week, but just give it one more week and, touch wood that everything's okay now.
Mate, talk us through it. What actually happened the other day?
It was just, it was sort of a reaction, and yeah, I thought I pulled my hamstring, but it ended up being a nerve, so just had to give it enough time to settle down, and yeah, back this week.
You're back against Lakes. Mate, did you watch their game last week against Macquarie?
Yeah, I did watch the game. I only watched it until Andy Summers scored, and then I turned it off thinking that was the game, but yeah, it turned out to be a good game and 24 all, so yeah.
How do you think you guys will take away the 2 competition points on Sunday?
Lakes be tough, mate. They've always been a tough game for us. We didn't beat them last year at all, so that sort of plays in the back of the mind a little bit. So I think just get to their spot players like Adams and Brad Murray. But in saying that, if you worry about Brad and Chrissy too much, well, some other player might come up and destroy us. So we just have to get through our sets, and probably we'll do a little bit on them, but we just got to worry about ourselves and what we do right.
We had Craig Miller, your old coach, in the box the other day, and he said that although you got 9 players backing up from the rep game on Saturday, you guys play for each other, so I guess that doesn't even come into the equation.
Oh, it'll be tough backing up, but most of the boys love playing rep and like playing rep, but enjoy backing up for their club too. So I'm pretty sure it'll be tough. But in saying that, they've got 4 players backing up, and so we're probably pretty much on the same page.
Would it be fair to say you guys, last week didn't have the best day out in Cessnock? You needed that loss to make sure things are ticking along okay?
Yeah, we didn't have a great time up there at Cessnock, but some people say that it might be good for the loss. You can regroup and go back over what you need to do, but yeah, it's not good to get the loss. You always want the 2 points, but in saying that, it might be a good thing for us, and hopefully we bounce back this week.
The sun's out and we are ready to rumble here at Harker Oval. It is round 7 of the Newcastle Rugby League. Look at that glorious shot from high up in the Harker Oval grandstand. Not a cloud in the sky today, and we should be in for an absolute belter between Western Suburbs and Lakes United. Well, hello everybody and welcome to Bar TV's live and exclusive coverage of round 7 of the Newcastle Rugby League. In the commentary box, this man, you know him well, he called yesterday's game, he's back today, Morgan Campbell. What are you expecting today, Morgan? Good afternoon to you.
It should be a really good game. Lakes have been a little bit hard to follow so far this season. They've had some good wins. They've had a couple of surprise losses or draws as well. As for West, they've looked red hot for the first 5 weeks, undefeated, and there was people starting to say they might go the whole season undefeated. And then they came up against a very good Cessnock side last week. So it's really hard to pick, but I think it's going to be one of the best games of the season.
Yeah, of course, we had the Newcastle Rebels in Dubbo yesterday. They overcame Canberra quite easily in the end. Western Suburbs had 9 players in Dubbo. Just going through the sides, actually, this afternoon, there's no Callum Richardson, there's no Simon Williams, and also there's no Steve Gordon. But ideally, they've got great backup.
It's one of the sad things, really, that this is like one of those Origin games, you know, during the Origin period where you get big clubs coming up against each other, but they can't actually play their best sides. So Wests are a little bit under strength today, and that maybe makes the task a little bit easier for Lakes.
Who are you going for?
Well, I think I've got to go Lakes. I think with a few advantages from players being out, I think that's a big help. I think the way that they played last week showed that some of the things that they've been doing over the last few weeks have been, maybe a bit of an aberration, because last week they were tremendous. They kept fighting against Macquarie. They absolutely didn't give up, and they were good value for the draw in the end. So I think if they've got that sort of determination today, with West a little bit disjointed, they should get the coin.
Okay, well, let's go through the Western Suburbs side as they'll take to the field today. As I mentioned, 3 not backing up from yesterday's Rebels clash. Callum Richardson is a late scratching. In to replace him will be Sam Keenan. Ryan Lamb in 2. 3 will be Matt Casserly. Alatini in 5. Joel Brown and Jay Porter, the 6 and 7. Mark Tafua, he's backing up from yesterday's clash, along with Chad Redmond, Jack Finn, Peter Mannion, Matt Herman and Warren Shillings. Interchange bench for Western Suburbs looks this way. Ryan Petro, Jermaine Ale, David Dryden, Chris Knight and Tom Madden. Lakes United Seagulls, well, they're per program thanks to the Newcastle Rugby League. At the back is Kyle Kennedy. On the wings is Matt Craig and James Varka. The 3 and 4 is Marcel Ikonofo and Josh Charles. The 6 and 7, Jake Kelly, Brad Murray. The back rowers of Chance Burgess, Chris Adams, Casey Burgess, Dylan Harton, Chris Randall and James D. Sachs. Then a change bench for the Seagulls, the defending premiers, Jay Sullivan, Tama Kupu and Sean Boss. Our referee here this afternoon for round 7 of the Tui's Cup is John Taylor. The touch judges with him, Brian Ebb and Greg Ricketts. So a big crowd in here at Harker Oval. It's Old Boys Day, and as you'd expect, with every Old Boys Day comes a big crowd. A chance for the old fellas that have got around here at Harker Oval over the years to catch up and have a beverage or two. And as we say, a big crowd. We've been coming here to Harker Oval for many a year, but I've got to say, this is the biggest crowd in many a year. The grandstand downstairs is nearly to capacity, and we're not too far away. We're just waiting the home side, Western Suburbs. They'll be led out, of course, by their captain in Mark Tafua. Big game for Tafua yesterday. He actually carved into the Canberra side, and might just take this moment, actually. Bar TV is actually going to be live streaming next weekend's Country Rugby League Championships. We'll be down at Colley's home ground. A big day. If you would like to watch the grand final, well, it's an early start. It's going to get on about 9:45 in the morning. We will have the grand final with the league tag. Then that will then flow into the Tier 2 grand final. And then the big one at 1:45, I think, Morgan. Between Illawarra and Newcastle. So a bumper day in Wollongong coming up. But we're going to be in for an absolute cracker of a game. 1 versus 3 here on Bar TV Sports. Get involved in the conversation. Turn your fingers to your smartphones and your laptops, whatever you can. Get in contact with us. Hashtag Bar TV Sports. Well, here come Western Suburbs.
At long last, Peter, they took their time. I think it's about 5 minutes past 3. Lakes have been out there for probably 4 or 5 minutes now, so I don't know if that's a bit of gamesmanship or whether a few players just hadn't strapped their boots up. But either way, it just meant that Lakes were standing out there loitering for a few minutes. You mentioned that Country Championships. Newcastle had a very strong win yesterday, and a lot of the players involved in that game are, of course, Western Suburbs players, and you really are asking a lot, and Lakes, of course, you really are asking a lot of players to playing a big rep game like that yesterday and then bowl up again today and play another 80 minutes in first grade in the Newcastle Rugby League. So it's no great surprise that they're down a few troops.
So without Richardson, Williams and Gordon. If you just clicked onto our stream, Western Suburbs, of course, Callan Richardson had an absolute blinder in Dubbo yesterday. Came off midway through the second half. So we'll know the extent of his injury. Let's hope he's back as quickly as possible for Western Suburbs, along with his inside centre in Williams and Gordon. And of course, Gordon had to pass a midweek fitness test to go around with the Rebels throughout the week. So coach here probably giving the week off, the benefit of the doubt, to get everything back to 100%. So round 7, this is the Tui's Cup, live and exclusive on Bar TV. Seagulls running left to right. Sit back and enjoy this one as Mark Tafua, the captain, the inspirational leader, is being pushed back towards his own goal line, taken down there by Adams. So that's the second tackle here as they come outside their own 10. Burgess in defence, that time on Finn, out to the 30.
There's a sign of a bit of intent from the Lakes defenders. They got up and whacked Jake Finn first time around there. That was something Cessnock did quite well last week, pardon me. Jake Finn, every time he carted the ball up, there were 2 or 3 up there ready to whack him, and they need to because he takes a lot of go forward for this Western Suburbs side.
Well, there's the kick. First kick, downfield, a good one. Out there, of course, is number 5, Craig. Now, I think you'll find last week they swapped all their jerseys around, Lakes United, and I think so far it looks like they've done exactly the same thing here today. They love doing that to us, Morgan, don't they?
Just keeping us on our toes, Peter.
They do.
It's not a bad thing.
So Marcel's out there, just trying to pick up his number plate as the play goes towards the halfway line.
Yeah, it looks
Marcel's
like Ikenofo's
in 3,
so that'd be Charles in 4.
So Charles is in 4. So we'll just swap those around on our program as the kicks are good and goes straight down to the 10-metre line. And on the bring back is Sam Keenan going across field, trying to break free of Charles, and he's going to be wrapped up 10 metres in from that eastern touchline.
Yeah, he was sharp last week, Sam Keenan. He played halfback with Jade Porter out of the side, and he looked really good. He set up a couple of good tries. He's obviously very, very quick and agile, so bringing the ball back with a bit of broken play today could be quite dangerous.
So that's their 40-metre line here, coming out of the southern end here at Harker Oval. Third versus first as we go inside round 7 of the Tui's Cup. Great to have your company as they come to the short side. Are they going to run it? That's exactly what they do. That's Herman. Referee here said that was the last tackle. Yeah, so that happened all quick. Change over back to Lakes.
Interesting tactics there from West, trying to use the ball on last. Maybe just trying to mix it up a little bit against this good Lakes defence.
So that's Craig in 2, giving it away to Marcel. He going for a scoot now. And Ikenofo. He's back from Dubbo. Marcel came back last night on the team bus. Had a cracker of a game against Canberra. Really went close to pick up a try. We know he's a try-scoring freak, Marcel. Quietly spoken bloke, but a fantastic footballer. As Western Suburbs, they converge in numbers. One of them was Menyon, along with his captain in Tafua. Back to Murray. He wants to kick it along the ground and into touch. And all Sam could do there at the back is watch it go into the fence there, Morgan, 10 metres out from his own goal line.
Yeah, pretty gentle start to the game from Lakes. They just roll that into touch there. One of the good things about them as a side is they're very aware that it's an 80-minute game. They don't try and score off every set or every tackle, and often leave their run pretty late. We saw last week against Macquarie, they were a few points behind with 10 minutes to go, but they just kept playing, didn't do anything silly, and found the points in the end.
So there's the scrum. Tafua packing into the front row in his regular position. A lot of NRL experience, of course, one of the former Cronulla Sharks players. He's been with the Rosellas now for a number of seasons. And, of course, a milestone year for Peter Mannion as a big shoulder charge coming through there from the big number 11 and Dylan Hart. And it's going to bring a penalty off the whistle of Taylor.
Well, It was another big shot. That's twice Finn's carted it up, and it's twice they've been up and whacked him. They know that he's the biggest threat in this forward pack. He's an absolute cannonball, and they're trying to slow him down, but they just put a bit too much work on the tackle and undid the good tackle in the first place.
So nice kick for touch. Speaking of Mannion, milestone year for him. Came to this club in 2006, in his 10th year. He's won a few premierships, lost a few as well. Charging forward now. This is Chris Knight in 18. First chance of the day here for Western Suburbs. What's their option? They're going to come left. Porter gives a great pass there to Shillings. Wrapped up there by the carrier over the top bin, Kupu. 15 in from the Western touchline. Back there now to Redmond. He burrows. Can't get away there from Jack Kelly. The Rosellas on the attack. They're going to go inside the 10. Storming their way to the goal line. Could be the first try here. It is.
No, it's not.
No,
it's not. It's a knock on.
He's lost the football.
Yeah,
was that David Dryden?
David Dryden. He was put through a gap there. He barged past a couple. It was a great carry, but he looks to it. We'll have to have a look at the replay, but he just fumbled it over the line. So John Taylor was right on the spot and didn't give the try. So one off the hook there for Lakes, but very soft defence up the middle.
So this is Josh Charles. We'll go to the replay shortly. We'll come up to the bunker, see what the officials are up here. And speaking of officials, we're up here with a few from Western Suburbs. They're still in two minds, but we'll go with John Taylor here as Lakes come now to the halfway line. This is Adams. Look at him go. He got away from Tafua. He's inside the 10. He's dragged down by the captain. Lakes United on a roll. Back there now to the left-hand side. Great hands by Murray. Back there now to Kennedy. And Kennedy fallen in the tackle there by Jake Finn. 6 minutes gone here on the Bar TV scoreboard. That's Murray. He'll kick it to the end goal area. And it'll go dead. Well, I think he was aiming for that post there.
Yeah, he might well have been just a little bit too much on it, but just Chris Adams again. You just got to watch him, haven't you? I mean, even this early in the game, scampering out a dummy half and finding space. Here's the replay of the Dryden episode. Pretty hard to tell. I think we'll have to go to camera 2 in the bunker for that one, but the ball did come out there. The Lakes players obviously thought it was a knock-on because they were grinning like Cheshire Cats. So it's a real missed opportunity.
That's Ale. Right out on the eastern touchline here. So the tempo of this clash is energetic. The top sides in the competition. That's Tafua. Offloading at will, keeping alive. Shillings gives it away. Away to Herman. He's still going, Herman. He got away from Ikanofo. Back to Shillings. Out wide at the border. What a tackle on Lakes. Oh, they're still going. Mannion back to the number 7. And that's Porter. Still going. Back it comes now to Ale. And he's going to be dropped down there. Energetic start here by Western Suburbs. 7 minutes gone in the match. Who's lining up now? Comes back to Chris Knight. He's put down there and cleaned up by Adams. Back there now to the left-hand side of the field. Tafua. Back to Porter. He now finds Keenan. He takes the line on and he's dropped down. Last tackle now for Western Suburbs. Look for the kick. Crossfield is probably on. No, Porter kicks it in the in-goal area. Cleaned up by Kennedy, and he diffuses the situation. They've got the ball now, the Seagulls, 2 out from their own goal line.
Well, very clever adjustment from West there. We've said that Jake Finn's been getting pummeled every time he carted it up. They've been looking for him. Well, on that occasion, Finn came up and passed the ball. And, of course, when 3 or 4 of them are coming up trying to smash him, it leaves them a bit short out wide, and that's exactly what we saw. And that might just put a bit of doubt into those Lakes defenders. The next time Finn carts it up, they're not going to be able to overcommit on him because they know he might shift it wide.
Well, they need to stop this man with the ball who's getting up the play. Back to Adams. That was Ikanofo. So Jay Porter, he's back for Western Suburbs in the 5/8 position today. He's been out for a couple of weeks, and so far, a good sign to have him back. Murray, great kicking game in Dubbo yesterday. He's brought it along here to Harker Oval. Down to the 20, the Rosellas into the possession, and that's Sam Keenan. He's been busy in to replace Callan Richardson, who's been late scratching. Had a few knocks, so the coach thought he'd give him a rest. Speaking of heavy tackles, have a look at that one on Alatini. Welcome back to your home soil. Nearly cracked his head open in the middle of the cricket pitch there too. This is Ryan Lamb. He's been picked up as well. And driven there from Murray.
They're hitting hard, aren't they, Lakes? They're right, well and truly up for it.
That's Mannion. Murray's got him. They're on the same side yesterday, those two, Murray and Mannion. Back to being opposition counterparts. Great ball from Porter to Smith. Gets it across down to Shillings. He now puts it onto the toe. Alatini chasing. But Kennedy's into traffic. And he's been smashed there. Who was that? Matt Herman in defence, and down low was Alatini.
He copped a couple there. He bounced off one into another. It was like pinball. But I think Warren Shillings, if he had his chance again, I don't know that he'd put that kick through. If he'd either held that or just got it out wide. They had a couple of tackles still going, but they're very eager to go wide here, Wests. They obviously think that Lakes are compressing and trying to get up quickly on the forwards, and they think there's chances out wide. So, interesting start to the game.
So Adams again, backing up along with Murray, Charles and Ikanofo from the Rebels yesterday. That's Adams again, inside the 40. Away it goes from Keenan. Might have too much oomph on the kick.
It's a fair
Mother Dearest on the head in the in-goal area and back out to the 20-metre line.
Well, that was a huge kick. That would have ended up on Lambton Road if that hadn't hit the fence. He kicked that from the 40-metre line and it went dead in 2 bounces.
And it's still as here. No wind to speak of, so
No.
a fair punt downfield. That's why he's the best hooker and maybe, after that, the best kicker in Newcastle Rugby League.
Well, he'll be over in the NFL with the home plane if he keeps heaving them like that.
He'll be after his money, that's for sure, yeah.
Either that or the AFL.
So Western Suburbs surging onto the ball at pace, looking to offload at every opportunity. And that's the 6 in Joel Brown, pundled sideways into the ground. There's trouble here, I think one of the...
That's Finn.
That's Finn looking
He's
at
got
his
a problem
wrist.
with his wrist. Aren't they swarming in defence here, Lakes? Even when he threw that offload, they were up and surrounding the man that got it and ended up driving them back about 5 metres. They're really sharp today.
That's Keenan. I mean, this is finals football in May. These sides will be there somewhere come September. There's the kick downfield. Cut off by Kyle Kennedy. One of the quiet achievers in the Seagulls side. We spoke to their coach in Dean Noonan last year, and he's been impressed with what Kyle Kennedy has been able to bring from fullback.
Looks like Finn's up in the line here. He's going to try and continue. He doesn't look overly comfortable, though. Be a huge loss if he had to go off.
So Tafua drops off, so the Seagulls roll it forward to their own 40-metre line here. We've had 12 minutes. Western Suburbs as Murray drills it between fullback and the winger. Rolling in towards the in-goal it goes. And brought back again by Keenan. He'll remember this match.
Certainly will. He's just been clobbered again. If he doesn't remember it, he'll be getting reminders all week with some of the bruises he's going to acquire here. That was a big shot, but great simple footy there from Lakes. Brad Murray put the ball on the ground, found space in the almost in the in-goal, and then an absolute blanket of defenders coming forward. It's that old thing of giving them the ball where you want them to have it.
Mannion! That might bring a penalty.
Yeah.
Lifting in the tackle.
Yeah, not much risk there. Just got a little bit too exuberant there with that one.
And Taylor had no hesitation there to give the penalty, and Brown puts boot to the ball and finds the halfway line. This is it on the replay here. Mannion lifting. He's going to be a father this week, we understand. Peter Mannion, first time. So I hope everything goes well there. This is the captain in Tafua. Back there now to Porter. He's back today. Out wide, juggled. That's Herman in 12. Marcel wraps him up. 5 metres in from the western touchline. Back through the middle of the park. Porter turns it back on the inside. They're lifting again in the tackle, aren't they? The Seagulls. They're ready to play, not just in attack, but definitely in defence as Shillings brushes them off like flies. Got it out the back. Where's it going to come now? Comes back to Finn. Good offloaded him. They're keeping him alive. There's space out here. Keenan, he goes himself. He'll score. Keenan's over. What a try. First try to Western Suburbs. They lead 4-0.
Well, I did say he looked agile and fast last week, and that was exactly it. He saw half a gap and he was gone. That was a great carry from Sam Keenan, but I think it's fair to say that Jake Finn's all right. He carted that ball up, bumped off 3 defenders and threw an offload. So if he is suffering the effects of that injury, he's obviously toughing it out.
And there's the try scorer. just being congratulated there by Alatini. If anyone deserved the first try of the day, it was their fullback Keenan. He's been everywhere for Western Suburbs. Great play. They were short on their left-hand edge. The Seagulls sliced through. What about that beautiful right foot step? And Keenan is able to score his first try, I believe, in top grade.
Let's watch it again.
Look at this. We'll slow it down frame by frame. Too much speed for their electrifying halfback in Murray.
There wasn't a great deal on there, Pete. I mean, really, there were a few defenders out there, and Keenan, it was just the fact that he threw the dummy and had the change of pace. It was a lovely bit of play. Now he's going to try and convert his own try.
So kicking into the setting sun here. Brought it back 15 metres out. Looking to convert his try to make it 6 points to 0 on the Bar TV scoreboard. He's able to do just that. So 15 minutes gone in the first half. Western Suburbs in control. They're up by a converted try on the Benedict Recycling scoreboard. It's 6 points to 0. And Keenan, if he can keep that up, he may get plenty if the opportunity for him allows it. That man on screen there, he was just out-enthused by a youthful fullback. Welcome back, Sunday afternoon football, live on Bar TV. 1 versus 3. This is Taifua. Runs straight into the hooker there in Adams.
You mentioned about Brad Murray there, Peter. You would have to think that blokes who have played a full game yesterday in Dubbo, travelled home last night and then are playing again today, you'd have to think that players who have done that would be a little bit slow off the mark at the very least. It might just take them a little bit to get going. So there's a real opportunity for fellas like Keenan who are fresh to do what he just did there and skip around them.
Trying to cause a bit of havoc up the middle of the park. Porter gets away to Shillings. Shillings has been everywhere. Look at him go. And they finally finish him off. 3 in the tackle there. One of them was from Marcel and Kelly. Jake Finn rolling it over the halfway line. Tremendous run by the big number 10. Porter, he says, let's kick it down into that corner. Kyle Kennedy is at the back. Looks up, and guess who's there to meet him and bring him into the ground? The kicker, the halfback in Porter. And Shillings just gave him a bit of a tap on the elbow there and congratulated him. Now Craig comes in off the wing.
Trouble here. I think it might be Dryden who's in a bit of bother behind the Lakes line here. He just spun out of that tackle. I think it's his head. But interesting, you notice, Pete, since Jake Finn threw that pass at the line, they haven't been able to come up and swarm him like they were in the first couple of tackles. And that indicates that little bit of tactics that they tried on was probably pretty successful. It's just put the question into the Lakes defenders' minds.
So Adams looking around for Murray, but this time he decides to put in a kick downfield himself. Didn't go that far. Now this is the intended man he wanted to give it to, but maybe Marcel's into space. He's got Craig. He's got pace. He's got footwork. He's got a fullback to beat. Ankle tapping stuff there from Keenan. Lakes, here they come, trailing by 6. They're on the attack. Still going. Back it comes to Burgess. He offloads it. They go for the line. Charles is over. First try for Lakes.
Wonderful football. That was great composure there from Murray to keep the ball going, and then very good from Burgess as well in the 8 to get the old rainbow ball over the top to Charles. He was quick enough to get down. That was a great bit of play. Matt Craig down this side, didn't he show some pace? I actually thought Ikanofo made it a little bit harder for him by passing a little bit early, but he sprinted down that line and was very unlucky not to score.
Well, there was 2 highlights in one move here. The first one was the ankle tap, which prevented the try. And this is it coming up here. Look at this. Murray, quick hands, away to the edge. Ikanofo, great hands.
So he didn't quite draw the winger, that's what I mean. He didn't draw Alatini, which meant that Craig had a little bit more to do. He had to beat Alatini as well, but he was very unlucky all the same.
And then they were just short to their right edge. Western Suburbs, quick hands. There was 4 on 1.
I thought he might have blown it there for a minute, Burgess. When he took on Jermaine Ale, I went, oh dear, they've got about 5 on none out there. But he was able to bump away and then get the pass, and in the end they worked it pretty well.
So Bradley Murray had an off day, one would say, with the boot yesterday in Dubbo. He only landed 2 goals out of 5 attempts. What's Sunday going to bring for him? Kicking into the sun, taking his time, hits it. Might fall short. It does. So still Western Suburbs leading the defending premiers here on Sunday afternoon football. It's 6 points to 4 midway through the first half.
Decent old game already, isn't it? Both sides are getting up and clouding each other. They're using the back lines, getting it wide. It's a really good fair so far.
Hope everybody enjoyed yesterday's coverage. A mammoth day. One of Bar TV's biggest days of live streaming.
I understand you were on an intravenous drip overnight to get you ready for today, is that right?
Well, they wouldn't let me out of hospital, had to sneak out the back door.
Intravenous strepsils, I heard.
I was sponsored by Strepsils.
Yeah, I bet you were.
But we've pulled up okay. A good sirloin steak does wonders, Morgan. Ever tried it? You a steak man?
No, I don't mind it. Yeah, I had a steak sandwich today, it was all right.
Sirloin or just the old cheap rump?
No, none of that. Just something on a bit of bread, nothing too fancy.
Bit of sauce?
Looks like they're going wide again here.
Spoken like a politician, trying to get back to the play. Won't be a politician for much longer, though. He's going to get back to real life. That's what I'm hearing. Here's Murray kicking it downfield. Here's the kick. What a kick off the boot of Murray. Sits up nicely in the setting sun here. And Western Suburbs, will they be there at Hunters Stadium on grand final day? They missed out on their chance last year. Will they be there this year? The signs are good so far. Lakes, will they be able to defend the premiership? Are we seeing an early grand final battle unfold in round 7 of the Newcastle Tooheys Cup? That's Dryden, I think, will find in 16. There's Jermaine in 15 as they come down to the 30-metre line. 3 in the tackle, try 4 over the top, led of course by Casey Burgess. So 19 minutes remaining in the first half. Back to Porter, dangerous. Here's the kick, straight down the throat though of their dynamic, crafty, energetic fullback. And wrapped up there by Shillings.
I'd love to see a little bit of a replay of that bit of move there from Cole Kennedy. He was very sharp, fleet of foot when he got into trouble there. He was surrounded by defenders and then there was about 15 steps and he was through. Lovely play.
So Adams
without
again.
their fullback, of course, Jamie Goulmy is their usual fullback. Yeah. He's not in the team at the moment. But Kennedy's doing a good job. He was very safe last week against Macquarie and he started off well again today.
Here is Shillings taking them in first. Back to live action. Adams is through. Supports on his left. Back it comes. D-Sacks will score. They've hit the front. 8-6 kick to come. Brilliantly to play by Adams.
He's just a little bit too clever for him sometimes, isn't he? He just got out of dummy half there and snapped away. It's the second time we've seen him do it, and you'd reckon every coach in the Newcastle Rugby League would have to say, watch out for Chris Adams out of dummy half. But knowing it's going to happen and being able to do anything about it are different things.
So Adams, a blinder yesterday, and look at this. Makes it look so simple. The experienced on the inexperienced. An experienced 9 times out of 10 will get up. So Bradley Murray. 10 metres in this time around from his previous conversion. So Lakes United. Ebbing and flowing along well. They can sniff out a try from anywhere on the park. That's why everyone loves the Seagulls. You know, they're not a team that they can just score from 10, 20 metres out. They'll chance their luck, and if it comes off, it comes off in spectacular fashion.
Yeah, I don't know if the fellas up here in the Western Suburbs press box love them too much. That's a big call. Difficult kick here for Murray. That first one, he didn't quite get his range right, but he's in a similar position, a little bit closer at least. We saw yesterday at Curry what the difference goal kicking can make.
Misses this one as well.
Yes,
So
Curry
goal
yesterday,
kicking hopefully won't come back and bite him on the backside.
Well, in that Curry v Cessnock game yesterday, Curry scored 5 tries to 4 and didn't win. They missed 3 kicks, and that was the difference in the game, a 4-point loss. So that's what kicking can do, and it could become very important in the later stages of this game if it's close.
So John Taylor letting Keenan know to get us back underway. And he pumps it well and truly down inside the 10. And on the bring back mission this time comes Sean Boss. Stormed onto the ball at pace and speed and will. Penalty, a rare penalty. We haven't seen many penalties going to Seagulls in the first half here today, but we've seen one here.
Well, they probably could have had 2 there. There was a coat hanger about the first attempted tackle, and then they eventually got it for workover after the contact. But it's a good opportunity now. They're starting to gallop a little bit here. I don't know if a Seagull can gallop, but you know what I mean.
That's Matt Craig. He's down the sideline. He comes down to the fullback. And this time Keenan was there to meet him front on. Adams rampaging their way down inside the Western Suburbs 10-metre zone. 15 minutes remaining in the first half. Adams to the right. That's Marcel. Marcel's close. 5 Rosellas combining to bring him down. Along there with Porter. Back there now to Randall. Gives it away. That is the 13 giving it away to the fullback in Kennedy. And he's not going to go anywhere but find the shoulder there of Peter Mannion. Plays the ball back. Adams again. Loves this part of the field. Probably thought he'd have his time over again. Then he mightn't have done that, but we've got trouble. Time off too. We'll stop the clock.
I think it's the 5'8" Jack Kelly who was collected after he, I say through the pass. He sort of attempted to throw the pass and fumbled it. But Chris Adams jumped out of dummy half. They didn't quite get their angles right there. But we hope everything's okay with, I think, Jack Kelly, who the referee obviously was concerned because he blew time off straight away.
Well, here it is on the Bennett Recycling replay. Look at that. Porter. Just gives him a good knock into the ground, and he hasn't been able to get up from it.
I mean, when you watch it live, I suspect it's not that late, but it is around the neck, so there's the possibility the judiciary might have a look at that one through the week.
Well, they can put them on report in 2016 if John Taylor heads down that track. That's the picture everybody is watching right now across the ground here. Jack Kelly still on his back, assisted by the trainer.
When you watch that at live speed, you realise what a fast game this is and how heavy those contacts are. I mean, Kelly was going at 1,000 miles an hour, and so was Jade Porter, who came through and collected him. And when people hit each other at that speed, I suppose there's every chance someone's going to come off a bit sore. But we hope it's nothing too serious. The trainer just taking his time at the moment.
Well, this is it in live time. We'll slow it down here. Bang.
Yeah, live time. It doesn't look late. I mean, there was every chance Kelly was going to catch that. So I don't think it's it's not a late hit, but it's just a little bit high. But he's walking back into the line now. So
if anything, I think it's hit him around the chin.
Yeah, he's back into the line now. So I think he's going to continue. Oh no, he's not. He's walking through the line and off the field. Don't mind me.
So they've lost their 5'8" here.
Well, they've got Jay Sullivan. You'd imagine will come on. He's a first grade 5'8" from last year and grand final winning 5'8" from last season. So in that respect, they're not losing too much, but they are going to get a penalty here as well for that high tackle. So Adams is going to have a tackle.
Adams just wants to get on with it. He doesn't want anything at the 2 points here. Irrelevant at this stage of the match, he thought. There he is again, backing up yesterday from Dubbo. Sniffing out a try. Can he get it down? He passes. Now they've scored. They won't deny him this one, I don't think. Or have they?
Oh.
Well, this is the communication problem they've got. They can't hear each other because they don't have the money to pay for microphones, the referees, at this stage. So that's why he's gone across to consult with his touch judge. And the touch judge has said, try.
No, he hasn't.
No, he hasn't.
On.
knock
He
on.
said knock on. He's giving West back the ball. So this will be very controversial. I'd love to have a replay of this one. Let's have a look. He gets it out the back. I think it's Sean Boss here who went straight for the line. Oh dear, oh dear.
I think they've got that wrong.
There's too much wrong with that one.
I think that is a try. Unlucky
He looks to have the left hand on the ball there. He's certainly still Yeah, I think that one's a try. So Sean Boss is a little bit unlucky there, I think.
You don't want to be controversial, but there were so many bodies around that play that the touch judge on this side wouldn't have had a clue if he got that down or not. So, you'd think the referee would have been in the prime spot to maybe adjudicate that, but
I think
he's crying over spilt milk. It's not on the scoreboard. It's 8-6.
I think the referee was actually behind the play, so he probably couldn't see, and that's why he went over for the chat. But I suspect if that one had gone to the bunker, I think the fellow would have been getting the chicken drumstick. So that'll be very interesting later in this game if there's a small difference. I'd say Lakes will be looking at the replay pretty closely through the week.
Yeah, you'd put your house on that. But it's 8 points to 6. Unlucky there, Lakes fans. The Bar TV predictor said it should have been 12-6.
The Bar TV predictor?
Is
that a new innovation?
Every week we're innovating things here on Bar TV. I just forgot to email you that.
Never a dull moment.
We've got sponsors. And when you've got sponsors in rugby league, innovations happen every week, Morgan, thanks to Benedict Waste Recycling and Top Better. Get in the game at topbetter.com.au if you haven't already, folks. As Adams now turns it away to Murray. He's in Top Better. He's in great form. He was 5-1 to score the first try this afternoon. I thought that was good money, actually, Morgan. Back there now to the right-hand side. Where's the kick going to come from? They're going to stab it in towards touch. May not even go into touch. Cut off there by their crafty little fullback, who's also picked up the first try of the match for the home side here this afternoon. So the Rosellas coming outside their own 10-metre line. You'd expect the defence coming through on the Seagulls here to try and limit their ability to cross the 40 after the set of 6 coming up. But Porter now sends it to the commentary edge, and that's how they're tackling today. And Adams, how close was he to?
I wonder if he might have had a pinky on the line there.
Yeah.
The linesman was right there, though, so he's a better judge than I am.
How on earth did Herman stay into the field? Back there now, inside the 40, Porter bangs it downfield again. Well, Kennedy, he's been coming out of that northern end, not once, not twice, but about 4 times in the first half, so he knows what to expect. Probably didn't expect Mannion to clean him up on that occasion. That's Matt Craig.
Hasn't he looked electric today, Matt Craig? Of course, he scored a blinder of a try last week against Macquarie. Up in the air, and the first thing touching the ground was the ball, and he's looking very dangerous again.
So out to their 40-metre line. Coming away from the northern end. Adams again. He only played probably 60 minutes yesterday, so he's fresh as a daisy here. That's why he's fresh. Look at him go. Down to the 40. 8-6 here on Sunday afternoon football. The match of the round. Keenan, confident at the back. That's the sign of a confident fullback when you can throw the pass away to Alatini, your winger. Oozes confidence. And no doubt the first try would have provided a great adrenaline rush to him as well. So they approach their own 30-metre line and beyond here. That's Peter Mannion. Just short of the halfway line. The crowd, a nice one in here today. The hill is packed full of cars. It's the only ground in the competition where you can actually bring your car in for free. Every other ground around town, they charge a $2 per car charge, I was told last week. So nice little work there by Western Suburbs to allow the fans to get as close to the possible and in comfort. That's Kennedy at the back, trying to get away from Porter, and Porter puts him down around the legs.
Letting cars in for free. It's not exactly very green, though, in this era of carbon emissions, is it? I mean, I'm sure they'll have the government on them about that. Encouraging people to drive, dear oh dear.
But if we keep that up, players will be charged to play on football fields too.
Yeah, that's quite right. So Jay Sullivan's going
You're
to
not a fan of carbon emissions, or you are?
Oh, no, I'm just making a comment on the way cars get treated
Let
nowadays.
Campbell Morgan know exactly what you think of carbon emissions, everybody.
Fantastic.
Hashtag Bar TV Sports. He wants something to do later tonight. He might have his job cut out if we get over 1,000 responses. But I know where you're going there.
Excellent.
But we still need cars to make it atmospherical. Is that a word?
Not really, but I'll run with it. I think atmospheric might be the way to go.
This is Adams. Great passing game. Hole running there. Backer comes now. They're throwing around at every opportunity, aren't they? Still going down to the goal line. And they're dropped down. 8 points to 6. That ball's gone halfway back to Williamtown Airport, where they're keeping a little eye on the carbon emission scheme. Here's the kick downfield. Up they go! And Porter comes down with it.
Well, that was a very strange end of the set, wasn't it? Chris Adams threw it, as you say, about 20 yards backwards, and they never really recovered. And Murray's kick was a bit of a shank as well, so that'll be very disappointing for Dean Noonan. Lakes really should be further in front in this game. They've had the best of it. If they'd kicked both their goals and scored that try that was taken off them, they could be as many as 12 points in front. Instead, the gap's only 2, and West have got plenty of encouragement.
So back to Mannion. Gee, playing 5'8" there, big Mannion. That's Matt Herman. Doesn't want to go into the ground. Quick play the ball. Good roll forward. Here's the kick off the boot of Redmond. He's coming through. Can he take the tackle? He can't of Kennedy. And Kennedy's going to be sliced into the ground there. From Joel Brown. 7 minutes left here. Sunday afternoon football.
Bit of an odd play there from Redmond, you'd have to say. He took it with a couple of tackles up the sleeve, went the chip and chase, and really with Lakes rallying a bit in this game, they're rolling over the top of West in the forwards. You'd think they might just want to slow it down, but he took a risk. Of course, if it comes off, he's a genius.
Murray angling it back on the inside.
Aren't they offloading well at the moment, Lakes? They seem to be really getting 7 or 8 tackles every set, the way they're dumping the ball out the back and keeping it going. And it must be, oh dear, a big hit from Shillings. Must be exhausting for the West defenders to keep having to chase.
I was just going to say, Marcel's fairly quiet. Haven't seen much of Marcel Ikanofo in the first half, have we? As the kick goes down into the end goal area and Keenan sees it drop over the dead ball line. Brilliant first half. The youngster on screen here, Sam Keenan, picked up the first try of the day and he was able to convert it himself in the 12th minute of the match. So the Rosellas trying to rush outside their own 40-metre line here. Good tempo, good push forward. Storming their way towards halfway this time through Jake Finn and beyond. 3 Seagulls flock on him to be tackling him on his own 40-metre line.
I don't think there's another player in the competition who makes as many metres after the contact. You know, he wrestles and fights and he can take another 5 or 10 yards off.
Porter wants it. He's got it here, Morgan. He's got support. Shillings! Great tackle there by Adams. Back to Keenan. Kicks it. He might get it back. Tackle count restarted. Chance now for Western Suburbs. They'll go close. They'll go all the way. Try time coming up. Jermaine Ale right before half-time. They've gone to the front. 10-8 kick to come.
It's a Western Suburbs classic, that one. They've not had the better of this game. Lakes have been all over them and then they get one chance and they take it. And what about Sam Keenan there? He went the grubber, got it back, and they had a full set of tackles. And he thought, no, we'll keep this moving. Flicked it out the back and they've scored out wide. That was it would have been much safer to keep the ball in hand, but he took a risk and it came up for him there. Great play.
Well, Sam Keenan, this is him here, trying to put it into the end goal area, but he was jack in the box. He got door of the ball. Look at that offload at the back. One-handed flick. And Ale.
It's the same as the Redmond thing up a few minutes ago. I mean, if that pass doesn't go to hand and Lakes get the ball back, you say, oh, Keenan, you goose. But as it was, looked all right. Good bit in the end, good bit of play. And Jermaine Ale, he was never going to be stopped from that range. He's made a contribution though already, hasn't he? He was sharp last week, Keenan at half-back, and now he's jumped in at full-back, and he's looking very, very lively. And bizarrely enough, West are back in front.
Scored the first try, set up the second try. Can he convert the second try as well? Unfortunately, just pushed to the left-hand side. So 10-8 here at Harker Oval. Bumper crowd here on Old Boys Day as Brad Murray strolling back to halfway here. Not long on the clock remaining, only 3 minutes in fact, thanks to topbetter.com.au. So Murray gets us back underway for the dying 3 minutes here of Sunday afternoon football, live and exclusive on the home of Newcastle Rugby League, Bar TV Sports. If you'd like to know a bit more about Bar TV Sports, we've got a new webpage in 2016, bartvsports.com.au. Make sure you check us out on Facebook and Twitter as well for all the latest games and scheduling. You'll find all the information week in, week out. As Schillings, great ball, back to Herman. Craig's after him. And Craig, ball pops out, play on. Finn's got the ball. There may be another try before half time. 2 minutes to go on the clock. That's Chris Knight. Works it to the right-hand side of the park. Mannion giving it away. Keenan giving it back to Ale. Denied his second try. 2 metres out from the goal line. Porter wants it. May go to Porter. He might even chase it. It's in the end goal area. Pressure for the Seagulls. There's Porter. Goal line dropout. Brilliant play by Western Suburbs.
Well, if you're a Lakes player, this might be a good time to go down with a cramp, because Wests have sprung to life here. 4 minutes before half-time, they scored a try, and now they're about a half inch away from scoring another one. Oh, hang on. That cramp, you don't have to worry about it. Lakes have got a penalty. So I think they're saying offside off the kick.
That's all it can be. A late call, though, as Taylor just sees this going into touch. We've only got 70 seconds remaining in the first half here. Western Suburbs, a grueling battle.
Isn't it typical, though, of this West side? They've got great resilience, and they score their points at great times. They were behind in the game. Lakes were coming hard at them, and they've just retaliated.
He was offside. He was in front of the kicker. Now, where is Marcel? He's had a very quiet game, Marcel. Not like this man from the back, though, in Kennedy. Adams. Well,
it's a beautiful game, rugby league, isn't it?
Hopscotch. Back to Murray. Murray's through. Murray support left. Was it forward? That might matter if it's forward. It's going to be given, I think you'll find. But I've got a question mark on the pass.
Well, who was that idiot that said Lakes are looking for half-time? That was sensational play. I mean, Chris Adams was crawling there and somehow got a pass away. And then Murray busts through the gap and sets up a try. That was absolutely fantastic rugby league. And Lakes all of a sudden are going to go in at half-time in front.
There is Bradley Murray.
A few twists and turns already, Peter.
He's the highest ratings individual midweek man on Bar TV Sports. 1,200 hits last week when we went out the training. He loves it. And he wants more of it.
Just got a bit of word from Peacock Field. Peter, if anyone wants to watch that game between Macquarie and South later on, close your ears now. I'm giving you 30 seconds, all right? Macquarie are leading 32-6 at half-time. Chris Hyde's apparently playing dummy half and carving them up, but 32-6 at half-time against South Newcastle, that's quite extraordinary. South, that's a very rickety performance from them as we see the kick go over this time from, well, that wasn't Murray that took that. That might have been Kyle Kennedy, I think, in number 1, who's taken over the kicking duties, but he's 1 from 1. So Lakes are going to be 14-10 in front at half-time.
Well, there you go. A topsy-turvy first half of rugby league. At half-time, Lakes go to the sheds, leading by 14 points to 10 over the home side, the Western Suburbs Rosellas. Yesterday, of course, Bar TV was out at Dubbo for the Rebels clash up against Canberra. I've been a busy man cutting the highlights overnight too, Morgan, whilst I've been out in Dubbo working for me quid.
I'm a bit concerned if you're getting paid overtime, Bar TV is going to be bankrupt.
Well, I'm not bankrupt, and I've brought a computer along for the ride as well. And this is how Mr. Jolly edited the highlights from yesterday on his laptop. Check this out. A new look squad for Canberra in 2016. So we're underway for the Tier 1 Rugby League semi-final. We're live out of Dubbo at Caltex Field. Great to have your company this afternoon for this big clash here on Country Rugby League. So 42 metres out now, Canberra, from crossing the Newcastle line. Williams goes himself. Still going. He only came into the squad yesterday after a late scratching from their original halfback. Here's the kick in towards the end goal area. Newcastle better go and save it. Captain Crisp, you won't miss him out there in the 5'8 jersey. He's the captain of the side from the Kangaroos. That's him now, putting it in the end goal area. Murray's got to go back into the end goal area and take it dead. Goal line drop out here for Newcastle. More pressure coming up for them. 2 metres out from the line. Here come the Rebels. Back in out of Murray. They cut out Gordon. Away now to Williams. Richardson will get down low and score. First try for Newcastle. 4-0. Back then out of Williams. Again away to Murray. He finds Mannion. He's dangerous. He's a good ball carrier of this. And an offloader. Not quite demonstrated there. Murray goes short. That's Gallen. He'll score from there any day of the week. And he's scored here in Dubbo for the Newcastle second try. 8-0 kick to come.
Very good.
2 metres out from the goal line. After his second, Gallen out the back to Murray. Where's Marcel? The crowd favourite. He wanted it, couldn't quite get it. Canberra back on their own goal line. Back for Murray, creating havoc. Gordon coming through. Gordon will lose it and force it over the dead ball line. Gee whiz, you might be able to get a replay of that, because I thought if he got the ball clean, he would have been next to the post. Well done. We love comedy. I think we've found our new...
We better do the football.
We might.
Well, he broke through.
He is away, comes down to Gordon, he draws, he offloads, back to Williams. Marcel's no chance. Williams is under the post. Canberra, they're coming back. 8-4 kick to come. Sends it over. Hoists it high. What a kick. Comes back to Gallen. Will he restart the tackle count? He does. Opportunity now for Newcastle. Away to Murray. They've got to score. Away to Williams. He finds Richardson. Shuts the gate. Juggle the try. That's class on display there for Newcastle Rebels. Josh Anderson. Here's Murray. Shot from the touchline. He's bringing him back around. He's kicked it from the touchline. What a kick by Murray. To Adams. Fresh as a daisy. Gets away from Murray. Murray away to Schilling. Schilling finds Gordon. Gordon goes wider. Out it comes now to Williams. He's got Richardson. Richardson will score. It's not Richardson. Not the redhead. It's James Wigg.
That's the blackhead. I don't know which one it is.
Well, there you go. That's the correct answer. Okay, well, there's the kick. It's ways away here. Josh Charles goes for a dig. Digging his way towards the line. Has he been able to dig his own hole and score? What do you reckon, Chop?
Yeah, try.
It's a try for Newcastle.
Don't have to come up into the bunker.
No CRL bunker on that occasion. But back here, Saturday afternoon football, they're trying to capture Newcastle off here. They've been able to do that. This is Oppo. Oppo's away. He's away from Adams. Oppo's still going. What a run. Oppo. Opping his way towards the line. Back it comes now to Solomon. Redmond running around, stepping, weaving, looking for support. He's got Walker, cuts out Walker, gives it away. Bruce has got the ball. Marcel can go from here. He got it back to Walker. He's through. Here comes the Missios. He'll take him on and score a great Newcastle try.
Yeah, very good try. This is a very good game. Ryan Walker. He's been too strong.
Line here in Dubbo. Here's the kick. Squeezes it in. The Western Suburbs coming back out onto the field for the second half. It's a tight clash. One side really hasn't dominated over the other here. 4-point ball game as we're about to get underway for Sunday afternoon football for the second half. Top Better, our broadcast partner this year, along with Benedike Recycling and Cornelius Crumps. Have you had a Cornelius Crump yet, Morgan? I've been trying to get you on a few for the last 6 weeks.
This is not something that I have partaken in, I'm afraid. As a non-drinker, it's not really my scene.
You don't like a fresh juice?
Oh, there's nothing against Cornelius Crumps. It's just I don't, it's just not my go.
Have you got any junk to chuck out lately?
Oh, it's not alcoholic. Oh, okay.
No, it's not
right.
exotic.
Oh, okay.
I know you like
I
exotic
thought it was a
stuff,
cocktail or something. Yeah, all right.
No, this is just fresh pineapple juice.
Oh, sensational. Oh, well, I'll get on that then. That's all right. Cucumber seltzer.
Cucumber
Fantastic.
seltzer. I suppose you could call it exotic in Newcastle.
Indeed. Oh, all right. Okay. I'll keep an eye out for it.
Yeah. In every good drink shop around town.
It was a bit of a frantic end to that second half. This will be very interesting, this next few minutes, to see who comes out and gets the first points. Lakes looked like they were flagging towards the end there as West came hard at them, and yet they managed to recover and score a try. And that's been one of the things that has made West struggle against Lakes over this year and last, is that those old tricks of scoring late in halves and scoring in big moments in games, Lakes can do it just as well. So this is going to be a cracker of a second half.
So Western Suburbs, first chance inside Seagulls half here in their first set of 6. That's Ryan Lamb trying to take on Murray. Murray couldn't shut the ball carrier down there, could he? As Madden now heads towards the opposition's 30. Away it comes off the arm of Brown, giving it away to Shillings. Now that's Chris Knight giving a pass away again. Well, they're offloading at will and telling the Seagulls, you better be on your game because we're here to play for today. They're down by 4 though. Here's a good kick in towards the in-goal area. What a catch there by Western Suburbs. Play on try. Alatini. He came down with it. They'll award the try. First set of 6 in the second half, and Alatini scores it.
Well, that was all very simple in the end, wasn't it? I mean, the kick just went up, and somehow Peter Mannion, I think it was in the 12, Matt Herman maybe in the 12, came down with it without much of a contest. We'll have to have a look at that replay, but it just seemed to lack a little bit of intensity. I don't know that Dean Noonan will be too pleased with that. Let's have a look on the replay. So it was Joel Brown that put the kick up, and then up they went. And Herman just took it one-on-one with Matt Craig, so there wasn't a jump or a huge contest or anything like that. He did superbly to get it away, and Alatini did well to get the ball down. So
there was a boot underneath that ball too, but I think you'll have to say that the ball found the grass. Let's just see if we can actually slow that down. I'm interested with a foot.
It's actually the second time that we've seen a put down like this. I mean, Sean Boss's disallowed try was exactly like this, where he sort of just went with the ball over the line. Oh, no, that's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, the ball's down. I can see what you mean, though, Peter. His foot was there. But no, he got it down pretty clean, so they're all square. And Keenan's got a chance to put them in front.
Now, this game's bubbling away very nicely, to borrow a word from Morgan Campbell. Bubbling away.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
I hope you haven't got copyright on that word.
No.
Thank you. Here's the kick. He's got it, Keenan. The youngster having an absolute blinder.
A real round-the-corner style, too. I reckon he might have played a bit of soccer in his youth, Sam Keenan, because he came around the ball there and got plenty of arc on it as it hooked its way over. But a very good hit. And, West have got the lead back, so what a topsy-turvy game this has been already. The thing you do know about Lakes, though, is they'll keep playing and keep playing hard right to the 80th minute. They don't let sides get away from them generally, and they don't panic if they find themselves behind. So there's plenty left in this one.
So there goes Peter Mannion. Straight into Charles and Harton. That's Ryan Petro on the field. Wrapped up there by James Desax.
John Taylor's gone down there. He took a fall in the back. I don't know if we picked that up on our cameras. I just looked at my left of our cameraman there, and Taylor was picking himself up off the turf. I don't know what happened.
Snipe it?
Oh, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't think there's anyone from Cessnock other than me here today, so I don't think anyone will be looking for him.
That's Jake Finn. Waiting now is Chris Knight. They're going to angle it in towards the in-goal area. Didn't quite make the in-goal area. And the Seagulls bringing it back. So Western Suburbs leading by 16-14 here. Sunday afternoon football. We love it here on Bar TV, Sunday afternoon football. It's prime time viewing. Everyone's at home, just chilling out, relaxing, and watching this man do his thing. Marcel Ikonofo. One of the crowd pleasers in the competition. So first chance now inside Western Suburbs half for them in the first half. What are they going to dish out them? That's James Desax. That's Chris Adams. Murray. Well, they'll have to look to him, most experienced man out there, along with Adams. Here's the bring back mission from Sam Keenan, the everywhere man, and Josh Charles. I was reading an article in the paper, I think it was written by Josh Callanan yesterday it was. And Noonan believes Josh Charles has got a real chance to crack into the National Rugby League next year, if not beforehand. So that's great. You know, a guy coming from the real NRL in the old days, now known, of course, as the Newcastle Rugby League, going into the National Rugby League, just like Nathan Ross did and a few others along the way. There's a good, strong tackle there on Mannion. Now this is Madden out towards the 40-metre line. So Chris Knight in the headgear, about to bend down and kick it and punt it as far downfield as he can. And out there is Matt Craig. No, it's not Matt Craig, Kennedy.
Kennedy, yeah, it's going to be interesting here. Well, let's have a look what Jackson Davis, he's not going to hit it up. But without James Varker in the side, we'll see Jackson Davis hit it up now. I would imagine it'll make a little bit of a difference not having Varker as the big cannonball winger who can bring it back off his own line and make a lot of metres. That was a good carry from Davis, but you would expect he's not going to have that same explosive power and speed that James Varker brings to this side. So
does anyone know where James Varker is?
He's in the first row of the grandstand. I just saw him.
Injured, obviously.
Well,
he was named in the program, so I wonder what went wrong there for Davis to come into the side.
Well, of course, he didn't play last week either, and it was a noticeable difference. They didn't have that little bit of go forward at the start of a set. So
that's Murray kicking along the ground. Oh, look at this razzle-dazzle play here by Western Suburbs. And Murray collects him right on the 20-metre line.
Poor old Steve Story will be a bit nervous about all this. That's the second time they've been playing silly buggers on their own line. We saw that dreadful pass out the back that went about 20 metres backwards in the previous set. Yeah. And then that ball inside to Sam Keenan, which he ended up making the best of. But I think Story might want them to keep it a little bit more simple when they're in their own 20.
How did you describe this game? Game of silly buggers. I like that. Can't be a silly bugger, though. Offloading the ball there, you've got to be a... Well, look at that. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, all right. Here they go. Down to 30. Ale takes on Murray. And Harton just bumps off him in the end. 16-14. Porter. Great ball. That's Schilling.
Pass looked forward.
It looked forward, and it was.
Yeah.
Did I hear a whistle? Yes, we did.
Yeah, you did. Bit of a mistake there. They wasted an opportunity. They were rolling at them there, West. But isn't Jermaine Hale big and strong out in the centres? It's a long time since he was at his peak. He's been in this Western Suburbs side for a lot of years now. But one-on-one, he's still very dangerous out there. And he just ran, let's have a look, straight at, I think, I'm not quite sure who that was that he bumped off there, but it might have been the 13, I think, James Decisive. But yeah, left him behind, and that's the danger of having a bloke his side running out wide.
So the Seagulls to their own 40-metre line here. Mannion getting a bit of facial treatment as he dropped off. As they approach the halfway line, 3 again in the tackle. Adams played the entire 50 minutes so far, backing up, of course, from Dubbo yesterday as they kick it off the boot of Sullivan. And they're trying to trap them on their own 20-metre line, and they're about to do that, and they've been picked up, and Marcel, hello, he is out there. He's had a quiet game. Notice there for that tremendous pick-up and drop tackle there on that occasion. Now this is Matty Herman out towards his own 30-metre line. So Sunday afternoon football. Smo play the ball as the Rosellas trying to avoid the cricket pitch area at every opportunity, but Mannion's just on the edge of that.
It's worth noting as well, Peter, Lakes are going to be playing with 3 bench players for the rest of this game. Jack Kelly is not kitted up anymore, so they've only got 3 substitutes available for the rest of this match.
Dangerous weaving. And the Seagulls through Josh Charles. Sweeping there on Chris Knight. Look for the kick going downfield. This is Davis at the back in his yellow boots. Maybe he's borrowed them from Chris Marlborough from the Central Newcastle Butcher Boys. Of course, Chris Marlborough is not playing in his yellow boots for the last few seasons with the Butcher Boys, but you can identify Davis from Mars. 30 metres out they are for their own line. Sunday afternoon football. Just a little bit of a lapse in this match, but this is Ikanofo. He can turn the lapse into something quite pivotal if he can throw that pass back on the inside. And he can do exactly that and cause a little bit of havoc here. That's Matt Craig playing it back. Going for a dig now is Sullivan. Shillings will have to take the ball carrier again into the ground if he can line one of them up. Craig for the try line. Marcel in pursuit. 10 metres out. Lakes.
Oh, hang on.
Might get a penalty here.
No,
says the referee. Play on. Adams. As we go into the tackler here on our close-up shot. Adams again in a dummy half. Back there now to Murray. Murray goes short. What a pass to Boss. Last tackle, change over, back to the Rosellas.
Well, that's the second time the bosses thought he was, baby, we were born to run there, right up the middle, but it wasn't to be. He was chopped down again. You can certainly see what they thought was going to happen. But Lakes, that's what they can do. They turned defence into attack there very briskly. There's Finn getting belted again. He's in a real contest today. But Lakes, it shows how dangerous they are. There wasn't a lot on there. And Jay Sullivan, just with a bit of a dummy and a change of pace, turned something into nothing.
It's Peter Menyon playing it back after Dylan Harton gets off him. So Western Suburbs, we can't forget that they were doing it without Callan Richardson, Simon Williams and Steve Gordon here today. Leading by 2 with 28 minutes remaining on the scoreboard. Inside the 40. So the Seagulls here, they got good field territory to attack. That's Kyle Kennedy. Runs straight into Peter Menyon here on the first tackle. Josh Charles just going to bend down and collect the ball and go for a scoot to the halfway line before Menyon decides not to put him into the ground on that occasion. He thought he'd give a few of his other second rowers a... Yeah, he didn't get up well, did he?
He was wrenched awkwardly back in the tackle, actually. I thought he might be injured when he went into that challenge. And, yeah, he is up, but it looks like his neck and shoulders are a bit sore.
So Adams again looking around, looking for runners. He finds Murray. And Brown collects the dynamic halfback, but not before a penalty is given the way to the defending premiers here, right on there on the opposition's 30-metre line here. So what do? Do they go for goal and try and lock us up at 16 all, or do they put it in the touch and keep the momentum going?
Well, I would have been half tempted to go for the 2 there. It's been a pretty tight game. There's only been a couple of tries from each side. It must have been a temptation to put the 2 over, but they've decided to take it on. They're obviously confident in their attack, and they've got good reason to be.
So they're getting here closer with every run. That's Boss. Trailing by 2 here at Harker Oval.
No,
Lost it.
Good decision, John Taylor. That was, I think he was trying to milk something there, Sean Boss. He just came stumbling forward, and Taylor quite rightly called that a knock-on rather than a penalty.
The crowd getting involved in this. You can hear it from the special effects mic. 16 points to 14, and everybody associated with the Rosellas must be very happy with the attendance in here today. It's Old Boys Day at Harker Oval. And no doubt the current crop hoping to come away with 2 competition points and secure them at the conclusion of this match. Well, we're 26 minutes away from the full-time siren here as Western Suburbs grinding it outside their own 20-metre zone, out towards the 30-metre line on that occasion, and that was Herman. Giving it back to the captain, Mark Tafua. He's had a bit of a rest, injected back out onto the field for the latter part of this match as they approach the halfway line here on Sunday afternoon football. Back to Chris Knight. He throws it out the back to Porter. As we said, he's 60 minutes into his first match back after a few weeks off. There he is again, Porter. Left boot. Loves to kick left or right. Left boot on that occasion. Not much distance, but the Seagulls have the advantage here through their fullback in Kyle Kennedy. And he is dropped down in his orange boots just on his own side of the 30-metre line.
Well, I've got to give kudos to John Taylor again there. There would have been a temptation for some referees to give 6 again to West when that kick was deflected back. But the Lakes player was trying to get out of the way of it as much as anything else. So Lakes are able to get the ball, and they're rolling on a little bit here with Chris Adams finding space up the middle.
That's Josh Charles taking ball and all there from Tafua, and 3 over the top to assist in the tackle. The other one over the top was Castley. Adams is just getting up on the halfway line slowly here as it comes back to Murray, puts boot to the ball, angling it in towards touch, and I think the players will just say, we'll put down a scrum and slow down the play here as Ryan Lamb. He was tempted to play it, but he thought, no, we'll just see that go over into touch and slow down the clock and regroup. So there's John Taylor, sponsored, of course, by the Good Guys in 2016.
It's typical, isn't it, of Lakes, that sort of play. I mean, they're behind in this game, albeit only by 2 points, 25 minutes to go. But Murray doesn't want to force anything. He just pops it into the corner, make West struck it out, and keep hitting them hard and wait for something to happen. They just don't panic. It's one of the very good things about them.
So there's Brad Murray there on the right-hand side of the screen as Joel Brown feeding the scrum and sending it away there to Herman. He beat Marcel. Marcel's got to come back and get him. Craig wraps him up. Quick play the football. Good roll forward here. Alatini. Adams.
Trouble here. They're rolling at them. Big chance for West this.
Chance for Western Suburbs. Wrapped up there by Kupu. That's the third. Brown. Now to Shillings. Burgess over the top. Trying it hard to put him down. All 100 kilos. Back to Knight. Western Suburbs close. Can they get over the line? Can they get it down? Held up. Last tackle now for the Rosellas. Look for the kick if they can't get the try. Back there now to Brown. He's kicking out wide. Here they go. Oh, they've taken out of the ball. Was he pushed in the back? Doesn't matter. Back out to the 20-metre line.
Well, isn't it funny how one play can change the whole momentum? West, I just said it, West were rolling at them. They looked like they were about to steamroll over the top of them. All Lakes had done for 3 plays was run backwards. And then Chris Knight, he went for a little run out of dummy half and didn't really go anywhere. As we have a look at the replay, I'd be very surprised if Jackson Davis even knew where the ball was there. He just took Ryan Lamb clean out. But anyway, that's maybe one for West to complain about. But yeah, that run from Chris Knight on about third tackle on the line, when he didn't really go anywhere and he was held up in the tackle, took all the momentum out of West's attack, and Lakes' defence reset, and we're able to see out the rest of that set of 6.
Nice hands out here by the fullback in Kennedy, going across field. He beats Tafua. And now Tafua just cage wrestles him onto the ground and looks around and says, I didn't give away a penalty, did I? Here he is again. He can't get away from Keller. Oh, now he ankle taps Adams. Well, Tafua, all his experience on display right here. That'll make the highlights.
Yeah, we obviously don't have that Sam Burgess unnecessary contact rule in the Newcastle Rugby League, because poor old Cole Kennedy was on the ground and Tafua, I think, said, step me, will you have this? Whack. And got him flush while he was on the deck. But there was no action taken from the referee. I mean, if the player's on the ground, you are allowed to do that, so fair play. Interesting to see Chris Knight scampering again there. Up the middle is really where this game's going to be sorted out, I think, with those quick players making ground.
Check this out in slow motion. Here it comes again. Kennedy. Just look at Tafua here. He's looking around. There he goes. Grabs him. Got him for the first time. Now, what's this? I'm going to come and get you. Hee-yah!
Hard game, though.
Then he looks around and thinks he's given a penalty away. Well, we've got news for you, Mr. Tafua. You're going to be back next week. We just love it. Nothing came of it. That's just entertainment here in the Newcastle Rugby League from one of the best entertainers we know from Western Suburbs. This is Marcel. He loves the step. He loves a good tackle as well. And Porter wraps him up and loses the ball. Well, there you go. Porter on Marcel. Yeah, and Marcel be feeling this.
You've put the Johnny Mocker on him there, I'm afraid, Peter. But yeah, Ikanofo there, just going a bit east-west rather than north-south. And when you do that, you're always a chance of being prone to a big hit. And yeah, the ball just came out in the course of the contact. So big chance here for West. 2 points in front with 20 to go. If they were to put another try on here, they'd make Lakes really have a lot of work to do in the last quarter of the game.
There's the tackle from Porter. And there's the ball just coming free from Marcel. Great camera work here by our cameraman Clay.
Yeah, he's on fire. That was Jade Porter's head that brought the ball out there. That was a Falcon strip. Never seen that before. One-on-one Falcon.
We saw a beauty yesterday in the league tag in Dubbo.
There's nothing
it was
like
an absolute stellar move over Mario Fennick. It was a cracker. Hit the girl right on the noggin. Now back it comes down to Tafua. Captain inspirational again down to the 10. That's Porter. Goes short. That's Casserly. Force him to replace Simon Williams. There's Tafua. He's got this passing game in him. Sometimes it can work, and sometimes, just like that, it goes the other way.
Well, I think that was an example of the offload being all right if you've got someone you're offloading to, and I think on that occasion Tafua sort of just hoiked it up in the air and made it was almost like a tip-off in basketball, you know? And in the end, the bounce of the ball just went Lake's way. And that's a big let-off for them. I mean, they're just hanging in this game at the moment, but it's a really good scrap.
Harton being slapped.
Dave Dryden there is using a bit of the MMA, and I don't think Josh Charles
has just fixed him up, and now they run at Dryden and try and capture him offside. So that's the last tackle now for the defending premiers. Where's Murray? There he is. Little chip and chase. They're coming through. But Keenan was awake to that tactic, and Marcel finishes him off. Now Porter.
Good bit of play there from Keenan. You've got to be really brave to run on the ball like that, and know you're a big chance of getting collected. And he did it very well. Read the play and put his body right on the line.
So Alatini plays it back. That's the halfway line. They're about to go close. That's their winger in Ryan Lamb. Now back to Knight. Get that into you. That's why he wears the headgear. Now to Lamb. This is Ryan Petro. 41 metres out. Up by 2. Porter hoists it high. Kennedy's under it. And the youthfulness at the back turns experience. And they've been smashed in the tackle there. You'd bet who it was. It was Jermaine Ale playing centres today. And there he is again in the tackle for his second on Josh Charles.
Hasn't he been good, Kyle Kennedy? Both last week and this week, he's been really, really safe at the back. He's been under a lot of pressure. Both sides have got good halves who have targeted him, knowing he's new into first grade. But he's handled it really, really well.
Chance Burgess. Back to Adams. Along the line, Sullivan. Now away to Kennedy. It's gone out the back. Marcel says, Matt Craig, you better put on the turn of foot. And he does exactly that and runs into the shoulder of Chris Knight. Now Adams in. No, back it comes this time from Murray. And they bang it downfield. Tapped on the boot of Ryan Lamb. Runs straight into the big number 10 over the top end, Casey Burgess. So 16 points to 14. Newcastle Rugby League match of the round. Western Suburbs. You wouldn't think they had 9 players playing representative football only 24 hours ago in downtown Dubbo. Backing up quite well thus far. Puffing away. Porter. That's the halfway line they're about to go across. And Randall in the tackle there from the defending premiers. Back it comes now to the headgear man in Chris Knight. He steps, he weaves, he flicks, he passes. Porter forward. Referee said play on. They're lucky to get away with it for that long.
Good recovery, Pete. That was very good. Yeah, you're absolutely right, though. Willis Alatini on the end of the forward pass there. But they're, both those sides have been keen to use the back lines. You know, you can occasionally see games in this competition that are a bit stodgy and they want to bash it up the middle, but the centres and wingers in both these teams have seen plenty of action. Not much Matt Hermer could have done about that, really. I mean, he was passing really onto his wrong side, and He really would have needed to get it around the corner. It would have been quite a bit of physics if he had actually thrown the ball backwards. Might have been better off to hold on to it, but plenty of enterprise from both these teams.
We're loving this contest. I hope you are too at home, wherever you are across the world watching Bar TV Sports. Welcome to the Newcastle Rugby League. Country Rugby League at its best here. Two of these sides, no doubt, will be up there come grand final day this year. That's James D. Sachs. Referee giving a penalty away here to the Lakes United side.
Big opportunity for us, really big. 2 points behind, 14 minutes to go.
Well, this is their chance now, the defending premiers.
Yeah, West usually a pretty disciplined side. It's rare that you get such an opportunity. Penalty 20 metres out, starting the set.
As Jay Sullivan now trying to set up runners inside and out. That's Adams heading towards the post with gusto. This is Kupu. Plays it back to Adams. Electric, dangerous. Gives it away now to Murray. They come out wide. Back to Marcel. He steps. He weaves. Head first into the ground. 2 metres out from the goal line. Numbers to the left-hand side. This is the way they come. Murray goes out wider. He finds Charles. Throws the dummy and gets the try. That puts them back in front.
He's a classy player, Josh Charles, isn't he? He saw the opportunity there and just threw that beautiful dummy and slithered through the gap. And if I'm not mistaken, he did exactly the same thing in that exact same part of the field last year in the major semi-final. That was a tremendous bit of work. And Lakes, it's the same old story with them. They keep toiling away until the end, and they've got themselves in front with 13 minutes to go.
And Adams puts the thumbs up. Struggling there, I think, a little bit there, Adams, as he comes back and regroups back on his own halfway line. But this is the try. And Josh Charles, we spoke about, he's ready for National Rugby League honours. And what a highlights reel he's got there to impress even further.
Well, what a great pass that was. The arcing ball over the top took about 3 defenders out. I mean, they didn't really have the numbers there, Lakes. But all of a sudden, when Brad Murray threw that big harbour bridge over the top, Charles was one-on-one with Ale, who slightly misread it by coming up. And then all he had to do was throw the dummy and stroll over. It was a lovely bit of play from Murray, who now has the opportunity. Oh, no, he's been stripped of the kicking duties. That's right. Well, Cole Kennedy has the opportunity to extend the lead past the penalty goal.
So it's an important kick. If he can nail this, this will give them a 4-point buffer. He's bringing it back around. It looks okay. What a kick from the sideline. No wonder he stripped Murray of the kicking duties if he can kick him over like that. Brilliant kick.
Well, I think to the people at Top Better, I'd suggest they don't introduce live betting anytime soon, because Josh Mason will take the tab home. Our producer, he called Kennedy to put that one over, and sure enough, over it went. So there you go, 4 points the difference, 11 minutes to go. We're set up for the grandstand finish again, Peter. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I said that there hadn't been too many real classics in the competition this year, and since then we've had 2 beauties last week, and we're having 2 beauties this week as well. So the real NRL starting to deliver 7 rounds into the competition.
Yeah, well, there's no question that the first 6 rounds were the slowest we've ever seen, but now the tempo has certainly picked up, and we're definitely loving this upstyle rugby league. Look at this. That's confidence now. They're lifting. Lakes United. Are they coming home the better? Sullivan.
40-20's an outside chance here.
That's the question.
He's fixing touch.
Keenan's done terribly wrong at fullback there. Nothing much in it. Only a toenail, but a toenail's enough to put the flag up and give the scrum to the Seagulls.
Well, Jay Sullivan, we said it in the first half. I mean, Jack Kelly came off, and they were lucky. I mean, they were able to bring their grand final winning 5-8 off the bench, and he's been a good steadying influence. I don't know if that would have gone out, but Sam Keenan couldn't really take the chance of a 40-20, and he ended up he was only had a couple of toes on the touchline there, but that was enough. And he's had a very good game today, Sam Keenan, but just a little bit of a mistake there, and it could prove pretty important. Lakes with a second chance to start a set 20 out now.
Great touch judging over there too by Brennan. Right on the spot. One of the youngest touch judges in our Newcastle Rugby League, and really proved cool as a cucumber in getting that decision, in his belief, 100% spot on.
Well, our producers called it. Josh Charles is going to score here, apparently, so you don't even have to watch this play because Nostradamus has made his call. Look out.
Here's Charles. Charles is down towards the 10.
I thought he was through.
Penalty from Taylor's whistle. 10 out. Adams clobbers it into touch. So 9 minutes to go in our match of the round. A try here would certainly go a long way of killing off the Rosella's chances of taking home 2 competition points here this afternoon. That's Adams again. Dangerous. He's coming into his own, along with Murray, along with Sullivan, along now with their fullback and Kennedy. Wrapped up there by Porter. 12 metres out from crossing. Marcel, after a try all day long. Wrapped up there by Tafua. 5 metres out. That's Adams. Goes to the right. Here they go! Here they go, all right. Chris Rangel has scored, which could possibly be the match-winning try for the Seagulls.
Great bit of work again, Chris Adams. We see it every week from him. He just summed it up perfectly there. Jumped out of dummy half, fired the pass with a cutout across one player, onto the chest there of Randall. And it's the second time in a couple of minutes that Lakes have started a set from 20 metres out with a full set of 6 and got the job done with a try. One on the left-hand side of the field and one on the right. And you'd have to think they're away now. I'm loath to write Western Suburbs off, but they need a point a minute from here, even if the kick doesn't go over, and that's a very tall order. Absolutely delighted they were too. The reserves were off the bench. The players went up. It's a big moment.
It's never an easy task coming to Harker Oval from any team, let alone the defending premiers, that they've been able to grind their way to victory. 7 minutes. 24-16. An 8-point buffer. Kennedy has been kicking them from left, right and centre all day long. What can he do with this one? Just misses it, sprays it to the left-hand side. It's on the Benwick Recycling scoreboard, 24-16. The defending premiers on a mission here at Harker Oval as Western Suburbs getting back to halfway as quickly as they can.
I'm talking about as quickly as they can. Have we had time off in this game in the second half? I don't think we have.
No.
It's gone by very briskly.
So Charles everywhere and again there. What a match he's had, Josh Charles. Certainly up there for the man of the match in this clash. This is Dylan Harton playing it back to Adams.
Well, Lakes obviously aren't too concerned about fatigue. They've only just, with 6 minutes to go in the game, made their 7th interchange. So they've still got 3 up the sleeve, despite having 1 less man on the bench. So that's a fair physical effort from their players today.
Murray, fair game. Back to Sullivan. They hoist it high. Straight into the possession of Alatini out there. Willis Alatini playing it back. Through the middle they come, through Mannion. Run straight into his teammate yesterday in Dubbo in Chrissy Adams. Both of those guys will be on the same team again next Saturday for the grand final of the Amy Country Championships, when Bar TV travels down to Wollongong, home of the Collies, hosting the grand final for the first time. It's been hosted in Illawarra since 2002, actually.
Did you say home of the Collies?
Yes.
As in the Border Collies?
Oh, well, you know,
Is
pretty
it?
much.
What, a dog? Really? There you go.
collie dogs.
Fair enough.
You know,
I was just curious.
Yeah, the woof woof variety.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Come along if you'd like. Great day out on grand final day for the Amy Country Championships as Porter just couldn't quite get an interesting hairstyle. He's been to the hairdressers throughout the week. Mr. Porter, we interviewed him throughout the week and he didn't have that sort of hairstyle, so very creative.
Well, they haven't got many shots left to fire now, West, with 5 minutes to go, and Matt Herman just trying something down that short side. Didn't come off for them. Interesting what this will mean for the Western Suburbs coach and how he motivates these players. I mean, they started off really well. They had 5 wins in a row to start the season. They had a stumble last week against Cessnock, and they've had another one here today. Well, they look like they're going to have another one, admittedly down a few troops, but it's just a question of what that means for the morale of the side going into next week and the weeks after. I mean, next week they're going to have this problem again of being undermanned because there's the final of the country championships. So it's a tough patch of the season for Wests.
It'd be interesting stat to find out when Western Suburbs actually had 2 losses in a row.
Penalty here,
How
Pete.
far back do we have to go for that?
There's a tackle on Chris Adams here after he kicked it, I think. We'll have to have a look at the replay, but John Taylor immediately called the penalty. He's called time off. There you go, the first one of the half. But Lakes will get a penalty here about 10 metres out. And West's opportunities from here are going to be fairly limited.
This is it here, Adams taking it to the line and kicking it downtown.
Oof. Well, I think even if it wasn't late, I think it was a shoulder charge, so that might be the offence there.
Tafua just going along there with...
Interesting, he's talking to Sam Keenan. I wonder if it might have been a back chat issue, because it couldn't have been... Keenan wasn't up in the line, and obviously it wasn't him that made the tackle, so I wonder if Keenan might have just had a word to referee Taylor, and that's why Tafua's decided to be has been called over for a word. It's lucky it's not Graham Stair refereeing today, because if he back-chatted him, Keenan would be off.
Yeah. So they're after 30. They're not satisfied with 24 points to 16 here, Lakes. They want to finish this one off with an almighty bang. Adams, away to Murray. Where's Marcel? Can't quite get to it. That's Sullivan. Marcel will go for a dig from dummy half. You can put your house on that. He wants to try. Oh, he's playing tunnel ball, Marcel. He went, oopsie daisy. Did I do just that? Yes, you did.
Well, not much time left here, about 2.5 minutes. I think we're getting into miracle territory.
Well, Lakes United take on Curry next week. And Souths will host Western Suburbs.
That'll be a fascinating game next week,
cracker,
Lakes and Curry. Although it's on Saturday, I think, so Lakes are going to have to take on Curry without Chris Adams and without Brad Murray and without Marcel Icanofo. So that's going to be a really tough ask.
So stay tuned throughout the week. Which game will Bar TV cover next week? Well, there's a few crackers to choose from, that's for sure. We've got the Country Championships on Saturday. As we see now, Porter. Out the back it comes, out the back door to Keenan. Floats it across field, that's Tafua. Tafua met and held in the tackle there from 3 Seagulls. That's the halfway line they're about to go towards. Out the back it comes. Dynamic Keenan offloading the pass. There's the big palm into Adams' big face by Matty Herman. So not long on the clock to go inside the last 2 minutes here on the Bennett Recycling scoreboard. They're going to hoist it high to the air. The ball will go straight into the breadbasket as it has all day long for Kyle Kennedy. And comes running back into Mannion, playing his 10th year with Western Suburbs Rosellas.
Well, you wouldn't call Kyle Kennedy a man of the match candidate necessarily, but I don't think I recall him doing anything wrong. He's had a really good game. They've had a lot of quality all over the field today, Lakes. It's been a good, tough game. The difference is probably a little bit higher than it maybe should have been. It's been very well contested, but Lakes have done what they do so often. They've scored points in the last 15 minutes of the game and found the extra effort when things could have gone either way. And that's been a big part of their game for last year and this year. And it shows that they're, despite their rickety start of the season, going to be right there at the end of it.
So Keenan sending it across the field there to his winger in Alatini. Alatini, never giving up. Loves to get his hands dirty. Right to the final whistle. Only 6 seconds to go. We can't go past Josh Charles for our just Hornhouse man of the match. As Tafua flicking it out the back. As Mannion with one last flick pass. Comes into the possession there of Ale. He bangs it downfield. And it's only right that Kyle Kennedy has the final touch. Great game at the back. And he's just congratulated there by his interchange player, Jay Sullivan. And congratulations to Lakes United Seagulls. They've been able to knock off Western Suburbs on home turf by 24 points to 16. What a match Josh Charles has had. You know, we spoke about it at the top of the program. He wants to try and break into the NRL. Well, if he can keep that up, I don't think he's that far off from, you know, living out a dream for him.
Yeah, interesting game, wasn't it? Lakes, I mean, they were up against a weakened side, so I guess you can't take too much out of it in that respect. But they still did everything they needed to do. They were very professional, and it's 2 points that they've taken that you know, might be very important at the end of the season. That's the thing about these rep weekends. The points don't count any less just because you got players out or just because you got more players. So that's a very important thing. As for West, I mean, they've got plenty of excuses, but at the same time, I think they would have been disappointed not to close it out. They had their opportunities in the game. They were 2 points in front with 15 minutes to go. It doesn't matter who's in their side. I think a Western Suburbs team would always expect to win from that position, and they didn't quite get it done today.
Well, we spoke about Josh Charles, blinder of the game. In your mind, Josh Charles, worthy winner of the match?
Yeah, I think he's definitely a candidate. He was one of the best out there, and he came out with the big play in the big moment in the game. So I think you've got to have him right in calculations. The forwards were all very good. They were very strong. Brad Murray led them away around well. I think Jay Sullivan was very important as well because he came on at 5'8" in the middle of the game and steadied the ship and did really well. It was pretty seamless. You know, a lot of teams when their 5'8" goes off, they sort of fall to pieces. So that was very important to them as well. And I think Chris Adams for me is man of the match because he carved them up the centre.
Okay, well, one thing we definitely know is that these two sides will be there when the whips are cracking come September. Who knows? Is this a possible grand final match that we've just witnessed here? One thing we also know is that these sides will meet once again going to the semi-finals, and all these matches will be live and uninterrupted once again on Bar TV Sports. Well, Morgan, thanks for coming along, having a bit of fun today. We've witnessed a spectacular clash between the two heavyweights of the Newcastle Rugby League competition, and we'll do it again next weekend. Thanks for your time today, and all the best back in Cessnock for the week.
Always a pleasure.
It is a pleasure, actually. Well, there we go. Live from Harker Oval. We've come to the climax. We've got to say goodbye. We'll be back next week, live and exclusive on Saturday, when the Rebels take on Illawarra in the Rugby League Grand Final of 2016, thanks to the Amy Country Championship. So until then, have a great week, and we'll see you live from Wollongong next Saturday.